CFMOTO 450NK. It's a new motorcycle, at least here in the US. I've been lended this bike by CFMOTO USA for a little bit of time here. So we're gonna check it out, see what we can see about it. What's it like to ride, to be out on the highway with? Will it do wheelies? I'm sure a question a lot of you guys have right off the bat is, who the heck is CFMOTO? A good question, because at least here in the US, this is not a as known brand. They've been around since I think like 89 or something. There's more deer. There's deer. I'm sorry, I have to pause. They're looking at me. I'm interrupting them over here. Deers, I'm sorry, bros. They're on the other side of that fence. No, they're not. Oh my God, this is so majestic. I got interrupted a minute ago. One ran across here. They're on the road now. Oh, they're looking at me. CFMOTO, they've been bringing their ATVs and side-by-side into the US for, I think, over a decade now. And they've been bringing motorcycles for, I think, this may be coming into their third production year. I believe this is a 2024 model. And they come from China, which will raise some red flags for a lot of people. With good reason, you know. I think us here in the US, when you think of Chinese bikes, you think of these cheap pit bikes, Hawk 250s, you know, you order these things online, they show up at your door. Or if you live next to a big city, like I live next to Dallas, you can go down off Harry Hines, or you can buy all kinds of questionable things and you can pick up a Chinese brand motorcycle, which may or may not have a brand. Is there dealer support? Not really. They'll have a warranty. A street legal bike, how do you even plate it? You have to assemble it yourself. The fit and finish and quality, reliability of these bikes is like the lowest. This is a terrible buying experience. Now, CFMOTO though, this is a bike you actually go to a dealership and pick up. In fact, I got this over at Maxim, which is primarily a Honda Yamaha dealer, but CFMOTO is, they've been selling those guys for I think like 8-9 years now. They've been quite satisfied with their quads and side-by-sides from talking to them up there. I even briefly worked there and actually sold a CFMOTO quad at one point. This is not like a junk brand. You buy this like a normal bike at a dealership. These actually have a 2-year warranty. You're financing it, insuring it, getting it legal. It's just like any normal bike you buy here in the US. The other thing a lot of people have a problem with when it comes to buying a Chinese brand motorcycle is they don't want to, you know, support China, if you will. And I don't know how much of that I want to get into because I'm not a political kind of channel. I am a motorcycling channel. But what I will say is that I think that is an inconsistent attitude most people have. If I bought a Suron and started riding that around, I don't think I'd get hardly any comments about that. If you're riding a Suron, you have an iPhone in your pocket, you have more money into that than this right here and all Chinese made stuff. What are you watching this video on? Where was that made, right? You're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. And if you don't want to buy one of these because they're made in China, that's fine. Probably don't need to watch this video then either. But if you do want to see about it, let's check this thing out closer. Let's see what this bike is all about. The 450NK. The NK, I believe, stands for naked because there's an SS version of this bike, which is a full-fairing sport bike version. The fact that this has a sport bike sibling on the same architecture will have some effect on this bike. I'll explain that more in a minute. But I think in at least the US market, this would be very much looked at as sort of a beginner-friendly motorcycle. Maybe even a more experienced rider just looking for a good commuter bike to run back and forth to work with. I think this thing probably gets stellar mileage. It has a 450 parallel twin, water-cooled, fuel-injected. Oh, and that 450 is a cross-plane. Means it has that 270-degree firing order, like kind of you get like on the MT-07s. And as far as I'm concerned, that's how everybody should be building their parallel twins. It's just, it gives it such better character. It actually smooths out things. It sounds amazing when they have exhaust. Even stock, this actually sounds pretty good. We've got some of these things. This is just like MotoGP inspired kind of stuff there. Does it do anything on the street? Probably not. Steel frame, steel subframe. It does have an unboltable subframe though. I think this bike is probably aimed very squarely also at things like CB500, the KTM 390 Duke, the Z400, definitely big competition for. And I think it comes in just under a lot of those bikes. I mean, for good value there, for sure. Longer warranty, and it definitely has some very interesting specs here. Come check this out. Da-da-da! A TFT display. It does have traction control, which can be toggled. What I have noticed is you can see right here, it'll show it's off. Watch this, we're going to cycle the key. Turn it back on, still off. I'll dig more into that dash once I've played with it a little bit more here. But yeah, you're getting a TFT, traction control, ABS. This is a little more premium stuff, so that's really cool. And the fit and finish looks really, really great on it. And again, I have it for a little bit of time here. Definitely expect y'all in the comments to ask me some questions about this bike, things you want to see me doing on it. And I have no contract or anything to say anything. There's no approval by CFMOTO. I can do what I want with this thing. I am no sellout as I wear their hat they gave me. Hey, I like hats, whatever, man. I don't want you to know I'm losing my hair. Getting old, man, I'm getting old. Anyway, let's get out on the road. But first, real quick, I want to ask you something. Have you ever Googled your own name just to see what comes up? It is shocking what you can find. But we can do something about that with the help of today's video sponsor, Aura. See, these data brokers out there, they're making millions selling your data to robocallers, spammers, and anyone else they can make a buck off selling your information to. Aura will identify these data brokers and they can submit opt-out requests on your behalf. See, they legally have to stop contacting you once you do that. The problem is they make it really difficult to find out how to do that, how to get in touch with them. Aura does that for you. And they also have a bunch of other tools to help you protect your family online. It's very easy to set up parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and much, much more. And you can get all that at a very affordable price because you don't want to be thinking about that when you're online trying to get things done, or it gives you that peace of mind so you can just get to doing what you need to do. You can either let people continue to exploit you, profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com/gardensnake and start your 2-week free trial today. That'll be linked in the description. Be sure to check them out and put a stop to data brokers, scammers, spammers, and keep you and your family safe with our video sponsor, Aura. It looks good. Let's get it running. Let's get it started up here. This front end is it's got a very futuristic look here to it, like a modern day sci-fi robot. Y'all like my little hoodie here I'm wearing? It looks like I'm not wearing no gear, right? But I am. This is a motorcycle jacket. Everything here I'm wearing is motorcycle. My shoes, my boots, everything. I'll link in the description. All right. First initial impressions, we just jumped on this thing. It's got 30 miles on it. I picked it up with 0, so I have a little bit of time on it, but nothing to get excited about. I think one of the first things I'm really noticing is the seating position here. It's obviously a naked, sort of upright style bike, but it's like a slightly aggressive still. What I mean by that is like the seat does kind of throw you forward. This is the things I was saying, how you get some things, whether you like it or not, they're gonna come from this also having a sport bike brother that shares its same DNA. The seat is a little pushing you a little forward. The pegs are a little high. They're not bad. Here's where personal preferences start to come in. I'm around 6 foot, 200 pounds of dad bod, and I've had an ACL rebuild on one of my knees. I would personally like a little less bent knees. Again, this is personal preference. I would like a bar a little bit taller. I'd say the dash is very easily read. These mirrors are actually really good. They not only not look terrible for a factory mirror, like they're really nice. They adjust it, the way they adjust is good. The visibility on them is great. They don't vibrate or anything weird. With all the TFT stuff here, we've moved the turn signal, or the high beam switch, up here on the top. So you have your normal sort of flash here. I'll do it this way not to bother anyone, but if you click it forward, you get your high beam on there. And otherwise, the horn and turn signals are where they belong. What's going on, Mr. Harley guy? How you doing there? How you doing? Acceleration around town in this kind of traffic is 0 problems. It doesn't take a lot of engine to keep up with this right now, but creeping the bike along, it's not hard at all. No oddball fueling or clutch release issues. I do notice the clutch has kind of a bit of a judder as you start to let it out. I'll show you right here. So if you go to release the clutch, normally, yeah, it's got like a little, let me try to do it slower. There's like a little something in there. It's like a little, once it breaks in a little, it might quit doing that, to be fair. I will point out too, by the way, that traction control has re-enabled itself because what I think happens is if you're doing a quick on-off with the key, like probably gas station amount of time stop, I think it'll keep that setting, but I think probably more than a couple minutes, that's probably when it flips back into the on position. I would prefer, of course, it just always kept your setting. I think most of us do, but I think there's a lot of rules now in other countries about traction control systems. If you disable them, to come back when you turn the key on or off. The fact that it even does it for a few seconds, I suppose is pretty nice. Like I've said for years on these bikes, I think that they should have like almost like presets, like a radio stations in your car. Remember that used to be a thing. Nobody even has that anymore. But you know what I'm talking about? Like when you have the buttons up here and you could hold them and set them. And even if it has to default back to some, setting that is required by law, hey, at least if I can reach up there and I think be able to do it on the fly, like just click the button, maybe you do that chop throttle and that you'll re-engage it. That'd be pretty cool. The other side of that, like it says, the ABS, and the ABS from what I can tell cannot be switched off. It's just on all the time. Oh, right there you just saw the anti-wheelie. It doesn't advertise having anti-wheelie, at least from what I can see, but if you have traction control, by default, you kind of have anti-wheelie as well. That's just gonna be how that works. As soon as you pull the wheel up for more than a few seconds, it's gonna see that the front wheel and the rear wheel aren't at the same speed, that the rear wheel is out accelerating the front, and it's going to kick in the traction control. Some of you probably are wondering, I mean, like, does it seem Chinese, right? Does it seem of junk quality, as, you know, probably a lot of people would assume? And the simple answer there is no. I can't tell that this is like a bike that didn't come from Japan, or heck, it even kind of feels like a bike, like a Triumph or something, you know? So I think that's, especially with this display, it's very premium looking. It's got good hit for that little 450. You wouldn't expect it, but it's still very, very smooth. Easy, seat height's low. I think this would be short person friendly. Easily accelerating away from the pack of traffic back there. No problem, man, no problem. We're in 4th gear right here. There's 5th. This engine for the little 450 in a street bike, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I've ridden like Ninja 400, for instance. You have to really rev that engine out, you know, to get to the power. And no, this is actually, it's nothing crazy by any means, but it's not bad. It has good engine braking too. I think a lot of that might come from that. I don't know. I feel like cross planes just do that a little better. Still, I don't think this is any kind of power that would scare a newbie away. It does not have any kind of power settings, though, power modes. Are you gonna be good, Bubs? Woo, he's getting that sign there. I was going to say, too, at my 200-pound self, this suspension, which is not adjustable, it's got preload in the rear, and that's it. It feels really good. It doesn't feel like bad. Nobody on this road. You want to have a little fun here, guys? Ah, I could have launched it harder than that. Also, for only having a single rotor on the front, brakes are pretty strong on this little guy. Yeah, I got the ABS to kick there. Oh, we can get the front wheel up, but don't like that. All right, hang on. Yeah, let's see. How fast can we do it? How fast can we shut it off? We gotta come into here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there she is. Off. All right, it's off. Which pump should I choose from? They got ethanol-free ones down here. I don't think it needs it by any means. It's 99 versus 84. That's all right. This thing's been for ethanol. Oh, here's a good test for it. Let's get gas, and let's see if by the time we're done getting gas, if that's enough time that the traction will still stay off. Look at that right there. Some of these more budgeted bikes, you don't even get this anymore. This does take just simple 87, by the way. The other thing, too, with this bike I saw is that they are going to be putting this engine in an adventure frame. I heard that, and I thought, oh, it's going to be like a 19 cast rims. No, it's 2118 with good travel suspension. All right, let's see, is that traction control still going to be off? Oh, it did come back. All right, that's enough time. Yeah, but them putting this engine in a adventure bike, that might be the sort of unicorn bike I think a lot of people have been looking for. Oh, yeah, baby. If we had the adventure version right now, I think you guys know which way I'd be going at this light. That was something already people in my Discord were saying. They're like, Jake, go take that thing off-roading. I'm like, that's not my bike. Like, yes, I totally would, actually, if it was my own bike. Let's get this thing up on the highway, see how she does. There's 75 miles an hour, still in 5th gear. It's telling me go ahead and shift. It's like, yeah, you can shift, let's shift. There's 6th gear, and it is smooth doing this. Normally, these size engines, they're a little busy at this speed, right? I mean, we are at like 6.5 grand. It's fine. We're doing 70, 75 miles an hour here. I'm just gonna roll in the throttle in 6. Easy. That is cool that this does this with this little 450 beginner bike, beginner-friendly engine. Here's why, again, this kind of excites me, is this being an adventure bike frame. It's got enough power to cruise at highway speeds and be confident on the highway. If you guys want, I'll do a kind of mini road trip on this thing. I'll take it somewhere. I'll ride it for hours on end on the highway, though. And you can do this when you're bored. knows about this. How tight can we turn this thing? This isn't even at lock right here. Try not to foot down. I'm trying to see if I can hold it at lock. It's almost a little fast for its first gear to be at lock. I hit that grate there. I felt that thing. That ABS had a little. It's working. That's what you want to see it do, right? You want to see it working. This engine likes to be opened up. It's like, come on. Wow. Wow. For non-adjustable suspension, it's confident. You know, you can tell what it's doing. She's taking it. Again, let me know in the comments what you want to see. You guys in our Discord, jump in there when you see me in voice chats. Ask me about this thing, man. Talk to me about it. CFMOTO, stick this engine in some kind of motard bike, man. Wouldn't that be something? Come out with a parallel twin 450 in a dual sport dirt bike frame. I know they're doing the Adventure, but let's go. What if you did that? Oh. Doesn't sound bad, does it? Well, now I got a whole 57 miles on it. I'm getting apparently 47 miles per gallon. Well, there she is. First video in the books there. I like it, man. It's gonna be a good bike. Oh, that looks pretty good right there, right? Right? Listen to that exhaust. If you want to be like 3 to 4 videos ahead on my channel and help support this channel, despite what YouTube or what everybody else wants from me, you go over to my Patreon, just $1 a month. You can join my Discord. You can physically chat with me. I'm in voice chats all the time in there. And for sure, you will see all this stuff well before the general public. And I'll see y'all next video. Later.